We may not be 10xing the hobby, but one Net54 user seems to be 10xing a Bronko Nagurski 1935 card. Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. So last week, I did a attic find on Bronko Nagurski's 1935 National Chicle card that is just it's the holy grail football card, or certainly one of the 2 or 3 most coveted football cards, especially among the vintage crowd. And then over the weekend on Saturday, so that was Friday, on Saturday morning, Tony of TJ is Online, you should go check out his YouTube channel or his Instagram. He sent me a text and said, hey, did you see this? And he sent me a link to Net54. I think it's Net54. Net54 user, invest in rookies. And I took all these notes on Saturday. And normally I take all my notes and then I do a video and I remember. It's easy for me to flow through the story without needing to look at my notes. But then I ended up spending the weekend with my kids and didn't do the video as expected. And then Mondays and Tuesdays are always really busy for me. So I'm probably going to be looking at my notes a little bit more than normal on today's video. So this Net54 user was on eBay. This was back in the springtime. They were on eBay and they saw a Bronko Nagurski 1935 National Chicle card in an ASA slab, graded an 8. ASA is Accuguard Sports Card Authentication. It was a Canadian grading company started by Alan Hager in 1984, believed to be the first grading company out there for third-party grading for cards, and also the first grading company to use a 1 through 10 scale. So it has some history. The comments in that post on Net54 believe that most of the cards are overgraded compared to today's standards, and that a lot of them would be altered even though they are authentic. So Invest in Rookies, the user who saw this on eBay, decided he would reach out to the seller. And the seller told him that he had submitted to PSA, and actually there's a photo of it in a PSA, not in a PSA slab, but with one of those semi-rigids that says altered on it. Do not holder, altered. And they had submitted it in the ASA slab. They had also requested a min grade of 5. And so it just came back, do not holder, altered. Now, if you are buying an ASA slab off of eBay, you should crack it out. And if you're going to do that, you need to put it in a good supply company's supplies. This video is sponsored by the Penny Sleever. Strong recommend for the Penny Sleever supplies. Semi-rigids, I always talk about these, but their one-touches, their top loaders are all the best. You need those, and you can get them for 10% off using my code JWH at thepennysleever.com. The link is in the description to this video. And that is basically what Invest in Rookies did. He decided to take a chance, felt like it was a legit card. The PSA slab said, or the PSA tag said altered, and he trusted that that was legitimately from this card and not something else. And so he bought it, he cracked it out, put it in a semi-rigid, not sure if it was penny sleeve or not, should have been, and submitted it to PSA. Now remember, this card is not going to go through eBay's authenticity guarantee program because it's not in one of the big 4 slabs. It has to be in PSA, SGC, Beckett, or CGC for it to go through the program. ASA is not one of those. And I shouldn't say a lot, some buyers, a small number of sellers, are bypassing the authenticity guarantee program by throwing them in new GAI slabs. I've covered this on my newsletter. You can subscribe to my newsletter at junkwaxhero.com. This one, again, he cracked it and submitted to PSA, paid $499 for walkthrough service with 5-day turnaround. A lot of the people in Net54, it's really interesting. A lot of people saying, it's trimmed, it's trimmed, it's trimmed, make sure you say slab if authentic. And it ended up coming back to him with a 5.5 grade, PSA 5.5. Pretty amazing. There are a lot of questions here, and we're going to go through this, but comments estimated the value between $30,000 and $200,000. He said, Investing Rookie said, this won't be going to auction anytime soon. He had it insured in a vault off-site, and his wife was on board with the long-term outlook for this card. My favorite part, again, was the commenter still, even with the PSA 5.5, insisting that it's trimmed. PSA, nobody is just going to trust PSA. It's wild that they have the highest value on their cards and also the highest unbelievability, that's not the right word, the highest lack of credibility on their slabs, especially for a vintage card like this. Why did it come back do not hold or altered once, and then a 5.5 another time? Why, when it was a minimum grade 5 before and rejected, is it a 5.5 this time? I don't know. It's crazy. But anyway, Investing Rookies appears to have sold his copy, the 5.5, for $81,000 on Fanatics Collect last week. Investing Rookies covered up the cert number, but you can scan it still, and it comes up with that very card that sold on Fanatics Collect for $81,000. I private messaged Investing Rookies and said, hey, congrats, what made you change your mind? That was on Saturday morning about selling it. Didn't hear back, which is fine. He has no responsibility to answer my questions. And it's not a criticism of him changing his mind either. He can do whatever he wants with this card. I was just curious if it had gone from this is in long-term hold, what changed his mind? Did he get more than he expected? He did 10x. He paid, oh, I think I forgot to mention this. He paid $8,000 for it up front on eBay. Sold it for $81,000 now. Take the grading fees. He probably got upcharged too, because PSA charge for under $50,000 value is $1,500. So remember, he paid $499. For under $1,000, $50,000 to $100,000 value, it's a $2,500 grading fee. My guess is they upcharged him to $1,500, but again, I can't confirm that for sure. Some other questions here. The original seller, and Investing Rookies even says this, should have cracked it out of the ASA slab and resubmitted. They also submitted the paperwork wrong, and Investing Rookies had the paperwork that the original seller had submitted to PSA and saw that they had submitted it as a submitted it for grading instead of crossover. A couple of other minor issues there as well. So was PSA biased by the ASA slab? Did they get that slab and just assume this is fake? We know it's fake, and they didn't crack it out. So was there just some bias there? Let me know what you think about this. It's an interesting case. I enjoy these types of things. I like these stories. If you have anything like this, always send it to me. I'm very curious. Email it or comment it. I enjoy this. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, junkwachshero.com. Again, penny sleever in the comments, in this description of this video, and TJ is Online's YouTube channel. Check him out as well. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you soon.